Hello everybody, Tai Chi Twins here. My name's Jeremy Wordy.
And I'm Joshua Wordy. Some of the best weapon martial arts like Kali tend to train their empty hand and their weapon side by side. This in essence makes the weapon simply an extension of your body.
Now if you've seen our previous video on Tai Chi swords, you'll know we weren't really taught weapons in our Tai Chi. Our instructor didn't really teach that type of thing. But at the same time, we were also studying Kali. So we figured if that's true, can we cross our Kali techniques with our push hands techniques? Now, I've never seen anybody else do this, but here's a Tai Chi Twin secret. We are going to show you how to do push hands with swords.
We're going to start this off in the same place we started our basic push hands video, with a simple cooperative drill that's designed to teach us sensitivity. Let's start with an exercise that we're calling sticky swords. Very similar to sticky hands. We just take our stance and we bind our swords, which just means we're going to cross them. I'm going to push a little bit of energy into his sword. Not too much, because if I put a lot of energy and then his sword disappears, I overextend, he can hit me easily. And I don't want so little energy that he can simply push the sword over and be able to cut me. I want just a little bit, so if he does try to touch me, I've got enough to be able to send his weapon out of the way. Or if he decides to move his sword out of the way, I can stick to it anywhere he moves it. So the same way as with our sticky hands, we're going to decide cooperatively who's it. In this case, we're going to decide I'm it first. So we're going to stick to our swords. He's going to move his sword anywhere he wants, and I'm just going to try to stick to its location.
He's not resisting my movement.
I'm just going with it.
He might guide it away. If I'm going to his foot, he might guide it away just a little bit with a push, but he's not resisting my movement. I can go any way I want. You notice how he's got this cross guard. If I happen to slip up the weapon, I'm going to hit on that. So if you're brand new, this is really important to have. And so that's all we'll do, and then after a while, okay, I'll stop. Now he's going to guide. I'm going to stick to him.
He's it. So anywhere I move my sword, he's going to try to stick with it. The next exercise we're going to do is very similar to what we did in this single hand push hands of a basic circle, where he's pushing at me, I'm pushing at him. We're just absorbing and redirecting. Absorb, redirect. But now, because I've got a sword, I've got a longer weapon and more targets. I can not only reach his head, but I can reach his foot too. And so that's the direction this first circle is going to go, is from high to low. So to start this one off, we're going to cross swords with his sword on the inside of mine. What that means is if my sword is up and we're bound, he should be able to reach over and touch my head without my sword blocking it. This is going to put me in a position where as soon as I feel him move, I'm going to redirect it. Now he's going to go down towards my foot. Now watch, if I don't stick to him, he's going to come down, he's going to cut my leg. But if I do stick to him, I can push his weapon out of the way. Then he's going to cut towards my head, I'm redirecting. He cuts towards my foot, and I redirect. He cuts towards my head, he cuts towards my foot. And all I'm doing is, as he's cutting towards my head, I'm pushing it up and away from me. As he's pushing towards my leg, I'm pushing it down and away from me. I can't just push it down, because if all I do is push it down, he's going to cut me. If he's going towards my head and all I do is push it to the side, he's going to cut me. So as he goes to cut my head, I push it up and away. As he cuts towards my foot, I push it down and away. Up and away, down and away. Oh, I went too fast, and he got the cut. I didn't stick with him. I started creating the momentum.
Too much energy with his downward push. He slipped off, and that was a very vital cut I had there.
And so again, that's what all of this is designed to do, is allow me to feel, where did that energy break? Can I feel where that messed up so I can fix the problem? Then we're going to test the opposite direction. This time he's going to put his weapon up. I'm going to cross to the inside so that I can reach over and hit his ear. But you saw, as soon as he felt me go for his ear, he pushed the weapon up and away. Then I'm going to cut down towards his foot. He's going to push it down and away. I cut towards his head. Now check this out. I want to show you. Again, this is a cooperative drill. From this position, if I cut his foot, look, he could easily cut at my head, and I would lose.
He cut my leg, I cut his head. Who won that one?
But that's not the point of the drill, remember. It's cooperative, and the whole point of the drill isn't about good sword fighting, but instead building sensitivity that will lead to good sword fighting.
The next exercise is going to be more of an attack and a counterattack. So I will be coming at him and he's going to block, and then he's going to strike at me and I'm going to block. I'm going to strike at him and he redirects, I redirect.
Now as I redirect, notice I'm doing two things. First of all, I'm moving my body away so maybe he misses me. But at the same time I'm moving my body away, I'm lifting the sword up.
Now, in order for this drill to really be good, he's got to be striking at me. Now, notice even when I let him hit me, he didn't hit me hard. He's just touching to make this contact. But if this is really not threatening, if he's just swinging over my head, why would I even have to worry about blocking it? I'm not learning anything from that. But if he's coming in and I have to stop that from hitting me, I'm coming in. See, I would have hit him unless he redirected that. So that's why we like doing this nice and slow and controlled, which ties in really well with the push hands. And the one thing that you'll notice from doing these sensitivity exercises is you're not only feeling the movement of his weapon, you're also feeling the movement of his body through the weapon. When you're comfortable doing the high circle, we're now going to go to the low circle. He's looking to cut me at the inside of my leg, and my weapon happens to be on the outside of that. So if I do nothing, he's going to cut me. If I just push directly into his sword, I'm cutting myself with his weapon. I have to be able to redirect and push that down. So now that I've redirected, look, I'm on the inside. His weapon's on top of mine. So I could now cut at his calf. He didn't push that down enough. Now he's going to cut at mine. And I redirect, and that up, boom. Okay? If something like that, I felt his weapon just barely clip my shin. So that tells me at that point I wasn't pushing down enough. Get comfortable with the low circle and the high circle. Now we can take it and make it a little bit harder and combine. So I'm going to be cutting high, and he's going to cut high. Then he cuts low, then I cut low. Oh, he slipped
disconnected fast.
All right, so we'll try that again. I'm cutting high. He's cutting high. He's changing that to low. Oh, he caught my shin to low. Now I'm going high, high. Now he's going to cut low. There I redirected. Boom. And then high, high, redirect, redirect. So, and you can do that forever, right? You start getting into this zone where you're feeling the way his weapon's moving, how that's oriented to you, and just getting this whole connection from his weapon all the way down to his feet.
What we've been training so far with the cooperative drills is trying to be cotton, trying to be soft and not use a lot of energy. But if you're cotton all the time, we already talked about they can change directions and they get a cut on you.
And remember, Tai Chi is yin and yang. It's cotton and steel. It's soft and hard.
So if we're going through this exercise, remember, I always want my sword pushing into his, just a little bit. So that as we're going in the circle, I can be sensitive when he changes direction, and all of a sudden, I can become steel. If I'm still cotton, he can push down and cut me. But if I can change my cotton to steel, look, I've redirected to him, and now I can cut him. The opposite could be true as well. I can transform while we're in the middle of this circle right here. I can transform to steel, and if I feel him being hard and pushing, I can let it go, and now I've got a chop on the other side. So both concepts can work, but remember, you have to be able to make that transformation to steel at any point in your circle.
So along with this circle, if we're just sitting here circling, I can kind of get him into a pattern, and then all of a sudden at one point I can extend my weapon, and there was the cut. Before we were both in here nice and safe, right? I'm redirecting, he's redirecting, and then I just make this extension, and now all of a sudden he's cut. If he didn't feel that. Now the one thing you notice when I came up here, anytime we do these to the neck, notice I'm not striking. It's actually a draw that I'm doing, and I'm not hitting hard. And a lot of times what we do is we will say in push swords, there's two things we usually won't do is strike to the head or thrusting. This can be very dangerous. This isn't very pointed, but it can still hurt if I get into a vital area like the eyes or in the upper part of the stomach. But if we had sparring weapons that were padded, we're wearing headgear, mouthpieces, we might allow some strikes like that. The main thing about especially swords though, is I shouldn't be striking with the sword, I should be drawing with the sword, because that's really what makes that cutting action most effective.
When you're ready to improve your skills, it's time to move on to competitive push swords. Outside of no headshots or stabbing, the main rule is don't get touched by the sword. You'll begin by making 2 circles and then go to free movement. Starting with fixed step allows you to focus mainly on what the blade is doing. Single step push swords add some complexity to the coordination of the feet while making it easier to evade. With these rules, you're allowed to take 1 step to attack or 1 step to defend. To make it more realistic, you can change to free step. With free step, you can either win by touching them with the sword or making them go out of the ring. As with any skill, it takes practice and proper training to get good at it. So make sure you look for a good school in your area. If you're in Southern Oregon, contact us for our locations and times. Thanks for watching our video. If you enjoyed it, like it and make sure to share that with a friend. Click the subscribe button and then hit that notification bell so you can catch our next exciting video.